Yeah, because he's down to his final year.
Why are we not paying that?
Well, we offered. We went in for him, and he's not interested.
No way. Wait.
Listen, as soon as Liverpool come sniffing, mate, they're champions of the Premier League.
I understand that, but I've never read that he declined Newcastle.
Well, it's not about declining. I think we asked. I think it's like everything else. Your agents go in there and inquire, and as soon as Liverpool come on board, the Northeast went quiet, and it was only ever Liverpool that was.
That's an inferiority problem, man. We can't feel like that.
He's picking the wrong Dutch master centre back to play alongside. That's what he's doing.
But you've got to also think, though. I think what the delay is now is the fact that there's still Konate. Konate's told them that he's not going to sign another contract. So Mark Guehi, and he deserves to do this. He's asking the question now. The other thing is that they had Kwanzaa. Now they've lost him. So now they need a centre back to either they can play a 3 at the back or they can go with 2 with 1 on the bench. So do you take Konate out the team? I mean, there was talk about there's going to be a gentleman's handshake with Mark Guehi staying at Crystal Palace to have another season of full football, and for them then Konate to go on a free and Mark Guehi to come on a free. And it was Crystal Palace who snubbed that. They want to sell him because they know this is the only chance they're going to get money for him.
And by the way, on Scalvini, Tonali can do some work there. Tonali can be like, look, man, come and play with me. Look, Tonali is an important player in Italy right now. So I guarantee you he can have a conversation with anybody, especially younger than him, and say, look, come here, man. Come over here. It's a great town, whatever. He can get it done. But I did read that Atalanta is not really happy to sell him. So that can kind of screw things up. But Forest are not happy either. People having chatting that Forest fans are having a meltdown. And, it's understandably so, I guess. I don't blame people. They got to do what they got to do. But especially in content creation, people, just YouTubers, you got to have a meltdown show. So I don't know. If it happened to us, if all of a sudden one of our best players leaves, and look, they can take our right wing, a star right wing for last season. I won't be crying. They can have him.
Right, careful what you wish for, Chris.
Oh well, there you go. Maybe it's not. Maybe he's going to start over Ilanga. Who knows? We're assuming Ilanga is going to start.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
And by the way, with Eddie, trust me, I think Murphy will get the right away first, and then we might see Ilanga halfway through the season.
I would take a bet on Murphy starting the first game of the season.
Yeah, I think you will.
An amazing preseason. You put money on Murphy starting.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. I read as well that Matteo Guendouzi is somebody that Aston Villa and Newcastle are going to battle over the ex-Arsenal midfielder. Nobody talks about midfield, man. Midfield. I guess we got Willock, but and Lewis Miley, and then
they're still questioning Willock about Crystal Palace, Fulham. There's still a lot of interest in there. But again, this is all about them losing players. These teams are very much in a very similar situation to us, and that's why at the minute, even the likes of Arsenal are finding it very difficult to get players to sign the dotted line. It's not a gimme anymore where players just go, unless you're playing or going for guys that have got release clauses that want to come to your club. It becomes quite easy then when you can pay out the wodge and get players over the line. So, I understand all the gimmies. For me, it's a case of just getting the player that fits. It's about getting numbers in now. Like we said about Longstaff. It's lovely to see Longstaff taking wickets for Tynemouth Cricket Club. But I want him to start. If he stays a black and white, then he should start thinking about pulling his bloody socks up and getting involved in some of these games, to a level. But he's another one now that we've got to start being ruthless with. Same as Willock. Willock, to me now, is more injury prone than Wilson was. So he just needs to get gone.
Joseph Arkle says, I'd have took Brentford forward. Who? Mbomo? Or who? Yeah. Or no, the other one. Yeah, that's true. Wissa. Why are we not in for Wissa? I guarantee you, there's not a single Premier League club that wants Wissa, and that has nothing to do that's not to do with Wissa's talent, but he's not probably the marketing guy that everybody's talking about, because there's always that guy like Mbumo. Everybody's talking about Mbumo, but Wissa is underrated, man.
He got more goals in open play than Brembo as well.
That's what I would have gone for, but and he probably could have been a good. He probably would have taken that, accepted that role, and be like, okay, I'll fight for my role. And he doesn't look like he's scared to fight for his position. Trust me. So I think he could have been a good one. But that's you gotta have that open mind, man. You gotta have that. I don't know.
That's getting decimated as well as it stands. If Mbembo does move, they've just lost Nottingham to Arsenal. I'd be surprised if Wissa does stay there. If them two are gone and there's no replacement.
I guarantee you, Wissa would say yes to Newcastle in a heartbeat.
Shaw has been looked at as well, apparently as well from Spurs.
Yeah.
So a lot of teams are getting players now, getting strong, and again, we talk a lot, man, but we got one player over the line. We're still about the same team, So, I don't want to be negative, but that's the reality of the situation right now. That although I think that we got a squad to finish in fourth and then fight for Champions League, it's going to be difficult. It's something. If we were in the Carabao Cup, right, and then out of the FA Cup, we got kicked out of the FA Cup way too easily and quickly, in my estimation. Nobody cared because we were in the Carabao Cup, whatever. But if that happened with a squad like that, imagine adding Champions League and what it means. We're going to be, if we keep maintaining the same squad, we're probably going to fight for Champions League, which is good. We're going to prioritize the Champions League tournament, and we might just get decimated for the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, and we might not have enough. So that's what I'm saying. We still got a lot of work to do, and I don't know when's the window close. Are they gonna give us a week back?
Second September.
Yeah, September the 1st. I'm going to say that's what I thought it was.
September the 1st, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, we still got a long time then. September the 1st. Wait,
Got 5 games in, isn't it? 4 games in.
No. I'm saying no. I'm talking about no. How many days? How many days we got until the window closes to sign a player? September the 1st. We got like 2. How many months is that?
A month and a half.
A month and a half. Yes.
Okay.
So I said another 6 weeks of the. That's what I said. I don't think why. I could never understand why people were panicking when you've got so long. The biggest thing is, and again, you've got to start bedding your players early. And I think that, and I say that with a bit of tongue in cheek, no pun intended. To get formations and to get movement and get a team bonding together. And I think that's why Eddie Howe was very open in saying that he wanted at least 2 through the door from the 7th. And it's just to get them grounded within a Newcastle way. It's nothing worse than having players start a pre-season with a club, learn their way, and then bring them over to us to try and learn our way. And you often find that players get a little bit confused in systems. Mm-hmm. So I understand that from Eddie Howe. But like I say, it's not as easy as people think by just throwing money at them, especially when you haven't got a big pot of money to play with.
I think one point to make is from the close of the summer window last season to where we're at the moment, say Elanga has said or is about to sign, we're still a player down. In that Miggy and Callum have left, so we've replaced Miggy, but we haven't replaced anybody else. Yeah, so there's still a hell of a lot of work to be done with that squad because it was even short.
I mean, there's a couple of lads that are coming back. You've got to understand. We've got Pivas. We've not even had a look at yet. We've got Salia, who's his striker, 17-year-old striker that's been out with Dynamo Tbilisi. He comes back when he's 18, so that should be any time soon now that he should be joining the lads. It'd be for me, is it Eddie's way now of having a look at these lads to say, can they step up to the line? I mean, he's only 18, and for me, the player I would really seriously look at for supporting Isaac is Kilicsoy, at Besiktas. Really good player, 19-year-old, seems to have all of, what Eddie Howe looks for position-wise. So he's certainly, and something like 30 million euros, Besiktas would be happy to see, the back of him. It's really weird.
Thank you, Hell Cesar, for donating a gift and membership. Appreciate it, mate. It's going to Stephen Fawcett. So congrats, Stephen. Become a member, super chat, super sticker, help the channel grow and fund itself. Appreciate everybody that helps out. If not, just hit that like button. It's free, and you help us grow and reach more people. So appreciate all of that, Sean. Don't forget to smash the like button. It helps us a lot to keep growing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, activate all notifications, that way you get notified every time we go live. And don't forget, you can become a member, get exclusive content, access to all of our live shows on demand at the time that you want. And also, of course, giveaways every month, sometimes multiple giveaways a month. So stay tuned for that, check it out, help support the channel. It's a small fee, and of course, you help us and grow. If you hate the Mackhams, smash that like button.
To save the bleeding races. When we got the wheel put on, away we went again. But them that had their noses broke, they came back our him. Some went to the dispensary, and some to Dr. Gibbs's, and some to the informer.